In less than 10 years, the flu has gone from the 65th reason for sending kids to the hospital all the way to number 10. The flu is serious business, and if someone in your family has it, you know all too well it's an awful experience. Well, this is National Flu Vaccination Week, and the CDC wants to remind you to get your flu shot. So with us tonight is Luke Duvall, and he's joined by Dr. Andrew Eisenberg, a physician at a Sarasota hospital. Well, welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hey, Luke, tell me about your flu experience.
Well, it started out, I contracted the flu at football practice with the other players. And it started out just the normal flu. I went to my family physician. He told me I was too far into it for any kind of medication to affect the length of it, to just tough it out. So I went home, and a couple days later, I began coughing up blood and had sharp pains in my chest. Then I was rushed to the local hospital, where I was then med-flighted to the state hospital, where I spent 17 days in a coma and intubated, and also 17 days in rehab, and then an extensive 3-month rehab after the hospital to get back to everyday life.
That sounds very scary, Luke. How did that make you feel?
Looking back, it was very tough. In the middle of it, it was extremely scary. You never knew, in the hospital, you never knew what your next day held.
That is very scary. Well, now, Dr. Eisenberg, let me ask you a question. When does the flu season actually get to its peak?
Well, the peak is different yearly. Most of the time it's in January, late January and February, but you could have peak influenza as early as October, as late as April or May. So the point that we like to make is that one needs to be vaccinated as soon as vaccine is available, which is usually late summer or early fall, and it's not too late now to be vaccinated if you've not gotten it as of yet.
It doesn't sound like Luke's case was your regular variety of flu, though, was it?
Well, Luke ended up having the swine flu, or the H1N1, and that actually had a peak early in April when it first surfaced, and then he got sick in October. And while he would have been vaccinated on a yearly basis otherwise, we did not have a vaccine for that particular virus then. Of course, we do now, and so this current vaccine will help prevent H1N1 from the swine origin.
So are there some misconceptions about the flu? You know, we always think about feed a cold, starve a fever. What do you think?
Well, there's lots of misconceptions. The first and foremost is that vaccines don't help, or that they're dangerous, and neither of those are true. While they're not 100% efficacious in preventing influenza, they're certainly the best tool that we have right now. The other part that a lot of people don't realize is that even though you yourself may be healthy and your risk of a complication from influenza relatively low, we can't always predict who that's going to be. Like in Luke's case, you've got a healthy 15-year-old playing football, active, etc., who comes down with severe influenza. The other part of that is you can actually spread the infection, even though you're not sick, to other people who might have a higher risk of coming down with a more severe case of influenza, or in fact even dying. So vaccination is really the way to prevent that.
Sounds like Luke's case was very serious. Now back to you, Luke. Now, did any of your other friends get sick from that same incident?
Actually, yes. Nearly everybody on the football team got sick. One practice during that week, we had 9 players show up out of about 35. And my high school runs about 300 students, and it was down to 100 students that were sick with the flu and out.
That is so
it hit
serious.
strong in my school.
I definitely did. Now, has that changed your thoughts about the flu? Have you ever gotten a flu shot before this incident?
Well, I'd always gotten the flu shot before, but that season it wasn't available yet. It's changed my perspective in how serious it can be. I've always got my vaccine just because I didn't want the week-long, the agony in your joints and things like that. But I didn't know that the vaccine could potentially save your life.
Yeah, and in this case, that was you. Definitely, very good. Now, do you tell your friends all to get a flu shot now?
Definitely. Every chance that I get, I tell them. And also, when they have questions or they other things like that, I always direct them to familiesfightingflu.org. It's an organization that my family's joined to help others with finding out about more information about the flu.
And doctor, what are some of the biggest ways that people at home can protect themselves as well as getting that flu shot?
Well, again, number one is being immunized, and then all the other things you have heard about is washing your hands, coughing into your sleeve, don't go to work if you're sick, because we need to start thinking in more of a public health perspective in that we can be spreading disease. So we really want to limit that possibility, because you can't predict who's going to succumb to illness.
All right, let's get everyone to the doctor to get that flu shot. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.